with a look at the aftermath of Wednesday's letter of intent signing period. Panel, your overall assessment of Wednesday's signing of just two players at the moment, tight end Walker Lyons from Folsom, California, and wide receiver Ja'Kobi Lane from Phoenix, Arizona. Mark, your thoughts on those particular signings?
Just those two guys?
Just those two guys, unless you know more than we know.
No, I don't know. I know nothing. Well, first of all, when Walker Lyons made the announcement, I was like, okay, that's cool. It was a great start to a day because you're thinking this day's going to be a little bit better than maybe we anticipated. And then all of a sudden, it turned out to be different. But Walker Lyons is a tight end that you're thinking, all right, Georgia wanted him, Utah wanted him. Both those programs know how to use a tight end, have showed they know how to use a tight end. Utah, particularly against USC. And here Lincoln Riley comes in at the 11th hour, pulls him away. So that's a huge, huge win. And then with Ja'Kobi Lane, I was pessimistic that he was going to stick with his commitment, and to see that he stayed with it says that he got the other stuff that he needed to get taken care of, and he's going to be a Trojan. And he's 6'4", 6'5", Eric, whatever his. You've seen him in person. I've seen his film. That's somebody you want in your wide receiver room. And whether or not he can turn into another type of, Drake London, who knows? But you've got some clay to play with there. So, offensively, you got two really good players coming in the on the February signing day.
Eric, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's two skill position guys who are really good. Now, Walker Lyons, the biggest thing with him is that he's not going to be at USC until 2024. He's doing his LDS mission, going to Norway. It's actually cut short. It's not 2 full years for him. And so USC does get just 1 year to wait there. And so he kind of classifies, I guess, as more of a 2024 signing, but significant. And certainly players will go on missions and then end up at a different school than what they committed to. But you want to be that school, right? And Mark's right when he says Georgia wanted him, Utah wanted him. He was committed to Stanford. If you throw Notre Dame in there, those are the four tight end programs right now nationally. And so if they're all in on a tight end and you ended up with them, you've got a good player. It also speaks to Lincoln Riley's recruiting ability, I think, especially for an offensive skill guy. Ja'Kobi Lane, again, not the splash that Walker Lyons was, because Walker Lyons was uncommitted. Ja'Kobi Lane was committed to USC, ended up signing, took kind of all the drama out of it when he showed up in a USC polo, and he's got USC kind of signage all over his signing day event there. But I saw him, and it's 7-on-7. It was last summer, but he played against the South Florida Express team that was 5 stars everywhere, right? USC signees Malachi Nelson and Mekhi Lemon were there. Carnell Tate and Brandon Innes, big time 5-star wide receivers. His Tucson Turf team played them, and Ja'Kobi Lane, again, 7-on-7, and it's one game. Ja'Kobi Lane was the best wide receiver on the field there. That's the kind of talent he has, and you could tell he took that chip playing against those guys with him out there. He was as fired up as anybody, maybe in any game for that whole tournament, and it kept being like that. That's the kid to watch. So he has that type of ability. Now, you mentioned 6'5", it's 180. He's got some kind of filling out to do before we start talking about Drake London and some of those big time guys. But no, he's a talent that you want in your wide receiver room. When you throw him in there with Zachariah Branch and Mekhi Lemon, those are 3 extremely talented wide receivers who give you everything, right? There's not a duplicate guy in there. Those are 3 guys that would start, I think, at 3 different positions if you put them out there. Again, it's going to be something where fans, what about the linemen? What about whatever? But no, the 2 guys that they brought in, I guess, or officially signed on that day to add to this class, big time talent guys. Walker Lyons, you're talking about a top 10 guy in California, number 119 overall in the country. These guys can play. Big additions to the offense down the line.
Chris, how excited were you to see that Walker Lyons had signed with USC?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because all the chatter was that he was going to go elsewhere. So that was nice to see. It's also nice to see that Walker Lyons believes that USC is going to properly use tight ends in the coming years, because he must have been persuaded of that. So that was nice to see as well. And I agree with Eric. When you add Ja'Kobi Lane to Mekhi Lemon and Zachariah Branch, it's hard to imagine a better wide receiver group than that. I mean, that is a spectacular group of talent. I mean, I've already said it that Zachariah Branch is Tyreek Hill. He has that level of talent, but the other two guys aren't that far behind. It's a pretty spectacular group. So that was nice to see. And that being said, going into Wednesday, if neither one of those guys would have committed, my perspective on USC's future offense really wouldn't have changed all that much. I mean, USC is going to score a lot of points under Lincoln Riley. They just are. They're going to score a lot of points every single year, a lot of points. So that's been his history, and I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, it was nice to see. I'm glad those guys are on board.
Yeah, I thought the Walker Lyons thing was kind of a shot out of nowhere. And in fact, I was very excited. I saw a film on Walker Lyons a number of times, and I said, this guy is a big time tight end. And no wonder Utah wanted him. No wonder that Georgia wanted him. And from what I read quotes from Walker Lyons, he said that Lincoln Riley assured him that they would be throwing the ball to the tight end. So that, you know, if you're going to give the kid an assurance that he's going to be there. And the thing I liked about Lyons, although I had a little trepidation about the 2-year Mormon mission, but as Eric pointed out, the fact is he'll be back for the 2024 season, which kind of is exciting. And Ja'Kobi Lane, I got to tell you, I watched film on him. This is a guy that goes up, high points the ball, and brings it down with one hand. I mean, he did it in a number of times, and it was spectacular. I don't know whether he has top end speed. I don't even know if he needs top end, quite honest with you, with what he provides, especially in the red zone. So 2 really, really good signings.